Hey, welcome back to my channel Endless Pages. I'm Liv and welcome to today's video, which is a try the first chapter vlog. Hello, welcome to today's video. I'm going to be reading a bunch of different books first chapter. I have a little TBR mug here which I have filled with 20 books. 15 books off my physical TBR and 5 books off my Kindle TBR. I'll be pulling blindly at random and I'm going to read the first chapter of these books and give you my very early thoughts. May as well just get straight into it. Let's do my first blind pick. Ooh, I'm nervous. Okay, I've got one. Let's pop this down here and then I'm going to show you guys first if you can even read that. Okay, I don't know if you can read that. Let's see what the first one is. Oh, Gamora and Nebula. This one I think is by Mackenzie Lee. I have just finished chapter 1 of Gamora and Nebula Sisters in Arms by Mackenzie Lee. This is not my first Mackenzie Lee. I've read her Montague Siblings trilogy, which you might know better as A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. I had a mixed experience with that series. The first book I gave 5 stars, absolutely loved it, 10 out of 10. The second book in the series I hated, really hated. And then the third book was so tonally different to the other 2 books, but it was still really beautiful, but it was a really confronting and hard read. So yeah, it was such a weird mix of opinions across that series. So yeah, that's not my first time reading a Mackenzie Lee book. This one is another YA kind of vibe. This follows our characters Gamora and Nebula from the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise of Marvel. So I definitely still think I'm in a little bit of my Marvel fatigue era. Yeah, as a lot of Marvel fans know, the last lot of Marvel movies have not been good at all, and I used to be such a huge fan of Marvel, the cinematic universe, but yeah, I haven't touched it for a while because it seemed like the movies and the whole franchise started to turn into quantity over quality, and they were really just like shit movie after shit movie after shit movie. So I haven't really touched Marvel in a while, so this is my first kind of dipping my toe back into the water of Marvel in quite a while. We followed these 2 characters, like I said, from the Guardians of the Galaxy universe, the sisters, Gamora and Nebula, who are daughters of Thanos, who was like the big bad, if you don't know of the last lot of Marvel movies, up to like the Endgame movie. So in this book we follow, I think this is like, I don't know where in the timeline this is set. This is obviously before the whole last Avengers movie, I suppose. So we follow Gamora, who's been given this mission that she doesn't really know much detail about, to go to this planet called Tornjune to collect the heart of the planet. We don't really know what that means yet, but Gamora doesn't know that her sister Nebula is chasing her and wants to get to the planet first and get the heart of the planet before she can, because she wants revenge for playing a part in Nebula losing her arm. Yeah, and then they both get caught up in this whole thing. They start to uncover the truth about what brought them there and the role they may unknowingly be playing in a twisted competition with galactic consequences. A competition they can never win unless they learn to trust each other. So I was very scared to start this because I thought it was going to be very YA, and it definitely did start out like that. So before the first chapter was a transcript of, oh, it's really hard to see, like a transcript of some security footage from the Grandmaster, who, if you've seen Marvel, the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, you'll know that character is. He's kind of like a really quirky, he trades in collectible kind of stuff, I guess. And that really set off the book on a bad note. I was like, oh no, this is awful already. Yeah, it's clearly an adult trying to sound and relate to teenagers. And I hate when books do this, because like you're just aging the book by using internet slang that's only cool to teenagers for like a week before no one wants to say it anymore. The line, I think I caught myself. I think I recorded it on camera of me like physically cringing. So, yeah, the line is, the Grandmaster puts on his sunglasses. They are, as the Earthlings say, on fleek. Oh, I can't. I physically cringe when I read that line. So after I read this whole transcript of the start of the book, I was like, oh, I hate it already, great. But after the transcript, when we actually get into the first chapter, it's not too bad at all. There are some moments where the writing like is not as great, but the first line of the chapter is, her father sees death everywhere. I thought that was a really cool first line. And I really feel like Mackenzie Lee is doing a good job so far of describing to you the setting of this planet. I think, yeah, she was really describing it well, that I was easily able to picture what Gamora was seeing. So I saw that quite vividly as I was reading. So yeah, the descriptions of the planet are really interesting. It looks like maybe we'll also get like a little bit of commentary on climate and how they're treating the planet. This planet they're on is like a mining planet, and they're talking about how it used to be this luscious green beautiful planet until this, I don't know what it is, kind of, I don't know, material or type of energy or something, like, I don't know, like oil thing was found. I'm just describing as oil because they're digging in the ground. Was found, so now it's full of miners and corporations and greed, and the people that are native people on that planet are starving and having to work and mine there and destroy their own planet to be able to afford to live on that planet. So yeah, we've almost got a little bit of like climate commentary as well, which I do enjoy. I do like a climate fiction book. I should also mention, it was actually not the first chapter, but like a little bit of a prologue before the first chapter, and I just read it anyway because whatever, it was like 2 pages. Like I said, it starts off with her father sees death everywhere, and that's what's also intriguing me about this book, and I hope I get to see more of this, is that Thanos' girlfriend in the comics, I don't know much about the comics. I don't read the Marvel comics. What I know about it is because of like theory and Easter egg videos that I used to watch. Thanos' girlfriend is Death, Lady Death, like Death herself, and in the epilogue she's spoken about. So I'm also really interested to see that, because in the Marvel movies Lady Death was never featured. I don't know if she will be in the future, or yeah, if she'll just never be part of it, because she definitely wasn't part of the Thanos storyline. So I'm excited at the opportunity to maybe get to see her character a little bit, hopefully. I hope she's not just like a throwaway mention at the start. I hope we get to see more of her character. I think the first chapter got me quite interested in this story. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. I was expecting to find it incredibly YA and just be like, I can't read this. But I'm thoroughly surprised with the little snippet of the transcript, the 3-page prologue, and chapter 1. I ended up reading 29 pages of this book, and those were my thoughts. Okay, let's pick our next book. I don't think I'm going to attempt to show you on the camera. I don't think it's picking it up very well. So let's do a quick shuffle and see what we've got. I'm feeling this one. So let's open it up and see what it is. Ooh, okay, we have The Ruin of Kings, which I think is by Jen Lyons. Let's talk about The Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons. This is the first book in the Chorus of Dragons series. So I'm just going to read you the blurb because I'm not going to be able to remember all this or do it justice. So, when destiny calls, there's no fighting back. As a bard's apprentice, Kieran grew up on heroic tales, yet he also steals desperate to escape Qua's slums, and when he raids the wrong house he's marked by a demon, and life will never be the same again. His plight attracts royalty, who claim him as their immortal heir's lost son. However, far from living the dream, he's embroiled in his new family's ruthless schemes. Escaping just makes matters worse, as he is horrified to discover he features in an ancient prophecy. Every side, from gods to demons to dragons, want him as their pawn. And maybe he isn't even the hero, for he's not destined to save the Empire, he's destined to destroy it. Okay, so we start this book off with a letter to some kind of royalty. It's addressed to Your Majesty, King or Queen, I don't know. And it's basically telling us that this whole book is a recounting of events. And we don't really know who's recounting. I'm assuming some kind of like historian is recounting what I'm assuming is Kieran's story. So yeah, he basically says most of the recounting is a conversation between Kieran and his jailer. Also there's like eyewitness accounts, and the historian also like adds footnotes and his own commentary, which does have like a nice little bit of humor to it, which I like, occasionally, to give context to what they're talking about or add his personal kind of opinion in to what's happening in the story. So yeah, he hopes that this recounting gives the king or queen or whoever, the leader, a full picture of what happened, and that they give the Lord Heir leniency, for he is charged with treason and a death sentence. So yeah, so that's the letter that starts off the story, and then the story starts off as part one, a dialogue between a jailer and her prisoner. So we have Kieran, who is the one from this prophecy, as he is in jail awaiting to be executed by his brother, allegedly. And the jailer is this, what they describe as a monster called Talon, and Talon can shapeshift into the things out of your kind of worst nightmares. And before he's sent up to be executed, Talon wants to hear a story, and threatens his family members if he doesn't cooperate. So we go back to the start of his story and start out seeing him as a slave at a slave auction. And then that is basically what we've seen so far and the start of this story. Like I said, I'm really liking the little bit of humour in the footnotes from the historian, as he's like, this doesn't sound right, like this person doesn't know what they're talking about. There's like a slight bit of nice humour, and the writing is fantastic so far. The first line of the book is tell me a story. So yeah, I'm really liking the writing. It is a little bit of like a high fantasy vibe where we've got a lot of different made up words being mentioned, but there's enough context that you can kind of understand what's happening. And I just think the writing's really good so far. It was only 14 pages in total, but yeah, I'm really liking the writing, and I'm so intrigued by this format of a recounting and a storytelling. I always think that's so fun in a fantasy, and it just works really well with a fantasy, just retelling all of these great adventures. We also have a cool magic system in this book. Kieran describes 3 overlapping worlds, each ruled by one of the sisters, which I'm assuming are maybe like godlike creatures. So we have the world of the living, the world of the magic, and the world of the dead. Our historian, whoever he is, cuts in and says this is very incorrect. And then they say there's only 2 worlds. Magic is not a realm, it is a metaphysical river separating 2 parallel shores. So now you can see what I mean about why I'm liking the writing so much. It's really good, and yeah, I'm keen to learn more about this magic system. Does our main character have abilities that he should, like, abilities to see this third realm? Like, is that his gift? Are other people not able to see this third realm? Is that why the historian says there's only 2? Like, 14 pages in, I already have so many questions about this world, and I'm like so intrigued. So if you haven't seen, I'll pop it up in the cards. Recently I did a reorganization of my TBR cart, where I put my priority physical TBR on there. I definitely think that this needs to go on that as well, because yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed those 14 pages. It was only 14 pages, but I was already like, oh yeah, I think I'm gonna like this book. So I think I need to see if I can squeeze this onto my TBR cart, because This is definitely one that I haven't thought about picking up, but now I definitely want to. This video is getting me so hyped about my physical TBR. I feel like over the last year I've been like, I hate my whole physical TBR, I want to get rid of it and start again, but I really don't think my past judgment was that bad. There's definitely books on here that I'm genuinely going to love, and I've been feeling so like unmotivated by my physical TBR this year, and I feel like this is just changing that opinion. Like, I'm 2 for 2 in this vlog, especially the Ruin of Kings. Like, that has me so hyped, and I have not thought to pick that up in so long. So maybe helping me discover like gems sitting on here and get me excited about reading off my physical TBR again. So let's do a third pick. Let's mix it up and see what we get next. I'm feeling this one. Ooh, let's see what we've got. We got another fantasy, Children of Blood and Bone by Tommy Adeyemi. Let's talk about chapter 1 of Children of Blood and Bone by Tommy Adeyemi. I don't have a lot to say about this, so this one will be brief, but basically this is a YA fantasy. We follow Zeely, our main character, who lives in this world where there once was magic, and like these people called Orisha, magic users, and now thanks to this bad monarchy who one night just went along and destroyed all magic, took away and killed all magic users, which included Zeely's mother. And now Zeely, after getting some like fighting training, is given an opportunity to bring back magic into the world, and she does it alongside this rogue princess, and she has to fight the evil prince who wants magic to stay gone. I think as enemies to lovers, she might start to fall for the prince, but yeah, I don't have a lot to say about this. I kind of struggled with this. Even though it was only 20 pages of the first chapter, I really did find myself putting this down and picking it back up. Like, I couldn't focus on it. Yeah, I just wasn't really enjoying it that much. It's a YA, and it was reading very, very YA. Which is sad because I've heard a lot of good things about this book. And I think it's being turned into a movie as well next year, or the year after, if I'm remembering correctly. So it is quite popular, but maybe a little bit too YA for me now. Maybe when I was a teenager I probably would have eaten this up. The main character Zeely is just she's giving very pick-me energy already. Like, can't keep her mouth shut in situations where, yeah, giving Clary energy, like doesn't know when to shut up. Honestly, makes everything about herself, and is very powerful and the best fighter. So it's giving very, very YA pick-me main character female energy. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about this one. This one was a disappointing one. I'm not excited to read this, and I'm not excited to pick this one up after reading the first chapter, to be honest. It's definitely not enough to be like, I'm never going to pick this up, because 20 pages. Like, I think I've known within 20 pages if I'm like, I absolutely can't do this, and I can see myself definitely giving this more of a go, but I'm not super keen to do so. Let's do one more pull from the jar. Thank you so much to Amy, my friend, who suggested this. I was like, I have no idea what I want to film today. So glad she ended up suggesting this, because this was really, really fun, and I thoroughly enjoyed filming this. Let's see what the last book is, and that is... ooh, we have Realmbreaker. Let's talk about Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard. I'm a huge fan of Victoria Aveyard's other series, the Red Queen series. Love that fantasy series. So it's quite a shame that I haven't read this book yet. The back of this book reads, Esquire, the survivor of a failed quest, an immortal, timeless and unfathomable, an assassin skilled and heartless, an old sorceress holding secrets beneath her teeth. and a pirate's daughter, the ward's last hope. The heroes are gone, but the fight to save the world has only just begun. So I ended up only reading the prologue for this book because it ended up being like 25, 26 pages long. So I thought that that was a good place to stop. I really, really enjoyed the prologue. So the prologue to this book is, we followed the squire and the knight that he squires for is about to go into battle. And in this world there's these things called spindles, which to me seem like portals to this other world, and there was a time where these portals were open and people traveled, but that doesn't exist anymore. And now the knights fight this evil guy who is the brother of like the heir to the throne, who wants to open these portals and have travel again, but the knights and the heir to the throne are like, it's too dangerous, you risked our whole world by doing this. So the evil brother is working with this wizard to open these portals again, called the spindles, if I'm interpreting this correctly. And you follow the squire where you see the big kind of throwdown between the heir to the throne and his evil brother, and you find that they're identical twins, and it's this evil battle where these knights are trying to stop the evil brother from opening the portals, and they fail quite badly. And you follow our squire, who is watching this horrendously awful battle go down, and find that he just stand there frozen in fear as he watches all of these people get absolutely slaughtered by this, like, the wizards kind of woken up this like undead kind of army. And in this battle you have mortal knights, and then you also have these immortals, which are their parents and their heritage is from these other worlds that you used to be able to travel to, but they can't travel there anymore, and they're now in this world, but they're immortal, and they're very powerful, but you watch them all pretty much get absolutely slaughtered in this first battle. I thought it was such a fun and action-packed opening to a book, and I'm like so excited to continue on with this now. I thought that was an absolutely fantastic fantastic prologue. I really enjoyed the writing, I really enjoyed the world building. I'm so curious to find out about these other worlds. I thought it was a really fun, evil character and evil wizard. I thought that they were really fun villains, and it was such a brutal and graphic opening to the book, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I cannot wait to read more about this squire. The squire at the end takes one of the swords from the battles and runs off with it, so I'm assuming he will just inevitably be dragged into this fight between what looks like a fight between good and evil in this world. I'm also so excited that there's pirates in this. Like, this sounds really, really, really good. I loved that prologue. Absolutely loved it. I absolutely flew through it. I'm so tired, but I just wanted to keep reading this book. So I'm very proud that I managed to stop when I did, because I was happy to keep reading. So that was my very first time filming a first chapter vlog. I had so much fun. I definitely want to film this again and do another version. So let me know in the comments below if that's something you'd be interested in seeing, because I had such a fun time doing it. And I definitely think Realmbreaker and the Ruin of Kings are moving right to the top of my TBR. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Give it a like if you did, and subscribe if you would like to see more of my content. I will see you in whatever the hell I post next. Bye!